Hello, welcome to Cooking with Johnny. Today I'm going to be making an amazingly delicious party favorite that I call stuffed Italian bread. You might know it as a stromboli. I have a different twist on it. It's the most requested item that me and my husband get invited to a party to make, either the stuffed breads or the rice balls. When we come back, I'm going to show you step by step how to make this delicious dish with the ingredients that go inside, and we're going to put it together and start baking away. Come and join my party before we get to the real big party. See you in a minute. Okay, now we're going to be ready to start preparing our deli meats and our cheeses. What you need to do is go to your deli counter or your local supermarket of a deli counter and just ask the deli counter person if by any chance do they have any meats or cheeses ends. And this is what I'm talking about as far as meats and cheese ends. Okay, they'll tell you if they have them. It's like this is American cheese, you got Monster cheese, and you have Swiss cheese. This is all the kind of cheeses that have the ends they can't use for anything, so they put them on the side. I go and I purchase them. Instead of paying $5, $6, or $7 per pound for different items, I'll spend like $1.49 a pound, at least where I go. And the same thing goes with the cold cuts. Ask me if they have any salami or ham or mortadella ends. And if they do, buy those instead of buying a regular priced item. You're going to get these, you're going to cut these up into little pieces, and then you start making your breads. Oh, here I have salami, I have ham, I have mortadella, I got prosciutto, I got a nice chunk of provolone. I'm going to cut all these up into little pieces and do my two batches, one for my meat and one for my cheese. And when we come back, we're going to start putting all these items together. We're going to make our dough, show you how great this is going to be. Come back and I'll show you exactly how to do this. I'm going to start chopping away over here. I have cut up all my ingredients. I'm going to explain a couple of things to you before we go into the next step. When you notice I had a piece of prosciutto before, it was a nice little chunk. What I did was, before I did anything, I cut off all the outer skin. It looks like this. All this extra skin with a little fat on it, a little meat. I'm going to save this. I'm going to put this away in my freezer, and maybe sometime down the road, with the next month, a few weeks, I'm going to use this as a flavoring for when I make a sauce. So this does not go to waste. You're going to save this. Put it on the side. In the bowl here, you can see I had all my cold cut deli meats. Okay, what you can get I start with the basic. I got a ½ pound chunk of ham, a ½ pound chunk of mortadella. I got a nice piece of salami, which is about maybe like a ½ pound or so, and the chunk of provolone, also about a ½ pound. I come up with all of the pieces. I put everything in one bowl. I took my pecorino romano. I put it all over the place. I mixed everything, so everything is flavored. When these get cooked into the dough, all the oils from the meats and the cheeses loosen up and it coats everything on the inside. Absolutely delicious. I'm going to add some black pepper to this later on when we start processing it. This bowl here is all my cheeses. And the cheese I have here, what I got was, I got Swiss, I got Monster cheese, and Yellow American. Now, you don't have to put these ingredients in your breads. You can use whatever you like. If you don't want meats like pork or beef, you can use turkey breast, you can use chicken roll, cut those up with the cheese. It's delicious. Make them your way. This is how I make them. People enjoy them, so I keep doing it this way. But for some reason, if you can't, when you make your dough, make whole wheat dough instead of regular dough. Any way you want to make this, it's going to be, you won't regret it. It'd be absolutely delicious. Now, to explain the cheeses and the meats, you're gonna go according to your style of cooking. So if a ½ pound of each is not good enough, it's too little for this batch, get a little bit more. If it's too much, put a little bit less. Whatever you're gonna make it your way. Now we're gonna be preparing our dough. I'm gonna show you step by step how to do this. It's really easy, one bowl process, no machine needed. And the first thing we're gonna do is, we have in this measure cup, 3 cups of water. You're going to bring it to about a nice hot temperature. You can stick your finger in where it's not scorching hot, because if it's too hot, the yeast won't get affected. If it's too cold, it won't work either. So about like 105, between 105 and 110 degrees, you can use a thermometer. You're going to put 1 tablespoon of yeast in there. I have my yeast in my little bag. I'm going to throw it in. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Like that. Just for a second, a couple of seconds. I'm going to put it on the side. I'm going to get a nice big bowl. In my bowl, I'm going to put 6½ cups of all-purpose flour. So if you have these measuring cups or something closer, it's 6 of these and 1 of these, 6.5. You're going to put it into your bowl. Be nice flour. We're going to put in 1 tablespoon of salt. We're going to put that in. And put that in. That is the only salt you're going to use. Now we're going to wind up with taking our water mixture with the yeast. I'm going to put it in there a little bit at a time. I'll take my wooden spoon and I'm going to start mixing. Just like that. And put some more. And I'll do the same thing. Keep mixing it. So you don't have to use a stand mixer. You can just do this by hand. It's really easy in a bowl. And it's just one process. Okay. Now I'm going to put the rest of the water in. Get every little drop. So good. And mix the rest. And just keep mixing everything up. You see it's nice and wet, but it'll form into a nice dough ball all in this one bowl. It'll rise really nicely. Once you put your dough together and you mixed everything up, you're going to cover it with some saran wrap. Cover it, put it in a nice place, warm place like in the oven. Cover it, if we want to put a towel on, that's fine. But don't put a towel in the oven. Just put it on the side, make it rise. And let it sit there for about 2 hours. It will double in size. You're going to get, out of this batch, you're going to get at least 3 nice loaves out of it. So let me finish mixing this. I'm going to put it away. We're going to come back and start rolling our breads. My dough is all ready to go. I already have made a previous batch. See what it looks like here? I'm kind of move it around. See, it's nice and soft. It's going to be easy to roll out. But you're going to need a few items to work with. You're going to need a nice rolling pin, whatever you have. I use a scale because I'm going to measure the dough. Actually, not weigh the dough, not measure it. See how much it weighs and break it down to 3 equal parts. I'm going to use some flour to dust the counter so I can roll it out, and a nice pizza cutter or a knife, whatever you have at home. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is going to put some flour into the scale. I'm going to measure it so it doesn't stick. So I put a little bit of flour. I'm going to roll it out and put it right into the bowl. Look how nice that is. And it smells delicious. Now, the good thing about the dough is you don't have to make it. You can definitely buy in a grocery store or a bakery. They'll sell it to you. They normally come in a 1-pound package. Use that if you have to. It's fine. You don't have to make it. It's really easy if you want to, but if not, not a worry. Either way, it's going to be delicious. This weighs just about 3 pounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into 1 pound equal parts to get an idea. Okay, and put this on the side. I'm going to dust my counter, put some flour on there, so I can make a mess all over the house, and then my husband comes and says I make a mess, and he kills me. But yet, even though I'm making a mess, he loves to eat the food. I'm going to throw this right back onto the counter. Look how nice that is. That's a different song, different story. I'm going to cut it out. No, not cut it out. I'm going to cut it out. Weigh it. See how easy it is? And that's about right. I got a nice one little ball over here. I'm going to form it. Just turn it. Look, like a little pizza. This is also good to make pizza with. You want to use pizza, make pizza with it. Calzones, make calzones with it. Whatever you want to do with it. A little bit. I'll do one more. And that's perfect. Now I'm going to roll these up into little dough balls. A little flour so it doesn't stick to your hands. Look how nice and soft this is. Once I form my pizza dolls, I get all fumbled with the words. I always get yelled at that. But I'm going to make some nice pizza balls. Look at that. I don't know why I keep saying balls and everything, but that's exactly what they are. They're pizza dough balls. I'm going to roll these up. I'm going to come back, start rolling them out. And we're going to start with our breads. Look how pretty. Okay, I'm gonna, as you see, I'm starting to kind of spread the dough with my fingers a little bit just to work it out. Okay, then I'm gonna use my rolling pin. You see how nice? It looks like a pizza, like a regular pizza. I'm gonna take my rolling pin and put a little bit of flour on it so it doesn't stick. I'm just gonna kind of roll it out. Again, there is no science method to this. Use your own judgment how you want to do it. Whatever makes you happy, just do it. Like I said, if it doesn't work out, you try again. It's not a big deal. You know, a lot of people when they're cooking, they say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to make this." No, you got to do it so you're happy when you're cooking. If you're not happy when you're cooking, you're not going to like what you're doing. I happen to love it. And what happens is when you love what you're doing, it shows in the product at the end, and people enjoy it, and you get a better satisfaction because you enjoy that they're enjoying something that you made, and it's homemade. It's absolutely delicious. So you're going to spread it out a little bit, like this. You see, almost like a nice round pie. You're going to make sure at the bottom it doesn't stick. Put some flour, because now we're going to put the meats in. They're going to start rolling. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, look how nice this is. You're going to see these things will be lopsided, but it'll be perfect. They'll be beautiful. I'm going to take a little bit of black pepper, not too much, unless you like a lot of pepper, then just put it at the bottom. You can just kind of sprinkle some at the bottom. It gives it a nice little peppery taste. Just a little bit sprinkle. Look, not bad. I have my meat and cheese right here. I'm going to take them, 2 nice handfuls. Because I made a little bit extra, I'm probably going to have some left. I'll just freeze it and use it next time. It doesn't have to be for stuffed breads. It could be for anything. Omelets, whatever you want. And can I spread them out? Look, if you could smell this, you'd be like, oh, I could eat it now. Matter of fact, oh, so good. So good, so good, so good, so good. Leave some room at the end of your dough. On both sides, you're going to roll it. Now, doesn't that look delicious? Now I'm going to take my end of the dough, just like that. See, it's nice and thin, so don't worry about if it kind of breaks a little bit. It's not a big deal. You're going to start rolling. And if it starts to stick, put a little bit more flour at the bottom. Don't be afraid of using the flour. So it goes on the floor. Clean it up. Not a big deal. It's only flour. Looking nice and big. Move this over. Now, this is a stuffed bread. Have you ever gotten them like in an Italian bakery or a supermarket? They say prosciutto bread, and it's got this, and you go bite into it. You bite into all dough. There's like a little chunk there. I don't like that. I like when you bite into my Italian bread, that you get a nice piece of meat in your mouth. And this is going to be one of them. With cheese, yep, with cheese and meat, you're going to get a nice piece of meat. Look how nice this looks. Okay, and I'm going to go I have baking sheets in the back. I already lined them. I sprayed them with nonstick spray. I've lined them with parchment paper. I'm going to put this right on there. And you see, it's the bread is bigger than the actual pan. Not a biggie. Watch what I'm going to do. Throw it right on there, and I'm going to fix it. This is the best part about making these things. A little bit fell out. You put it right back in. You're going to fix them according to the way you want. Oh, they look delicious. Okay. I'm going to put 2 on here because they'll 2 will fit perfect. I'm going to put this back. And start my other one. And when you come back, we're going to show you exactly how to make the cheese one. I'm going to finish this one off. And I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Now we're going to make our cheesy bread. You notice I have here my nice tray with all my mixed cheeses. This is going to be also, you can have leftover. And the reason why I always have extra, because I always use it for something else. If I'm buying my products, and I'll get them normally cheap because I get the ends of the products, or the deli meats or the cheeses, I always have extra, and I put it away, and I use it for another occasion. Same low price, you get different uses out of it. Now I'm going to start rolling up my dough to make the nice cheesy bread. Where did you taste this one? If you think that's good, oh, you're going to love this. Plate my dough a little bit, spread it out. You see, it's not hard at all. It's very easy. And again, if you don't feel like that making the dough is for you, go buy it. It's really, really easy to go buy a dough. It's not expensive, and not all this mess is involved. But if you want to be adventurous and play like make a nice batch of dough, just do it. Because you know what? Not only could you make bread with it, you can make pizzas, like I said before. There's so many things you could do with this dough, and it's so simple to make. That's about right. I'm going to put the pepper on the bottom. The pepper just adds a little bit nice taste to it. Notice I just got a little sprinkle of it. A little dusting. Perfect. My cheese are all combined. I make sure that before I do anything. Take a couple of handfuls. And all these beautiful colors from the monster cheese on the outside and the cheddar, when they melt, oh, they're beautiful. It's gonna be really, really, really beautiful. Okay, and I'm gonna roll it up. Again, if it seems like it gets stuck, just put some flour. It's only flour. I can't stress that enough. Don't be afraid of making these things. Tuck the ends under like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this on my baking sheet. We're gonna return. We're gonna start baking. Once they're done, I'm gonna sit down and start eating them. I'm gonna invite you over. Come on over, and we're gonna have a little glass of wine, even though I don't drink. But we'll have one anyway. We'll have some bread, and God knows what else I can come up with. I'll see you in a minute. Now what we're gonna do is, before we put these into the oven, is just a couple of steps. I got here a pan. Now, it could be round or square. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna fill it up halfway with the water. Okay, we're gonna cook this with steam. What the steam does, it makes the bread nice and fluffy and really, really delicious on the inside. I'm gonna put this in the oven first. Now the next steps I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and on all the breads, all the loaves, I'll put a little slice, going to cut a little slice and sit like that. One here. Again, there's no magic art to this. Just put a few down, just enough you cut into the dough. And the reason is when it bakes, you can let the steam out of it. You don't want to keep the steam in because then it starts bubbling. You don't want that. I'm going to do that to all three of them. See, look, like just a little slither here. No art to it. Not a big deal. The same thing. I have a little bowl. And have some olive oil. Use extra virgin. It's really give it a nice flavor. I'm just going to coat these. A little brush. Okay, these are all perfectly coated real nice with the olive oil. Now I'm going to put them right in the oven. The breads are done. I'm going to take them out. Look at this. Look at these breads. Isn't that delicious looking? It'll be even better tasting. I'm going to let these rest. I'm going to take the other one out, let them rest because I can't really cut into them. They're too hot. Once they've rested and cooled off, I'm going to cut them. I'm going to plate them. I'm going to show you what the inside looks like. I'm going to start eating some of it. Of course, I can't eat the whole thing, but you're welcome to stop by. You know where I live. Just come on by and join me, and we'll have a nice glass of wine with us. Be right back. Okay, we plated some of them already. I'm showing the last one that I'm cutting. When I cut into it, this is what it's going to look like on the inside. They're delicious. I already cut one up, and I have my cheese one. My cheese ones will be a little bit different when it's cooked at the end versus the other ones with the meat. If you take a look on the inside, you see it's doughy. Notice the crust on the cheese one is more darker than the other ones. And the reason is when the cheese melts on the bottom of the crust, it gets this delicious flavoring on this. When you bite into it, you have your dough, there's cheese in the middle, cheese under the crust, cheese on the bottom, there's cheese all over the place. After you cut this, and if you want to serve it, just put it back in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes or so, get them nice and warm, then put them out. Perfect, it'll be delicious. Now I'm going to taste the deli bread, stuffed bread. I took a piece out. You can see that it's just not one piece here. There's meat and cheese all over this. I'm going to bite into this. So good. Really so good. You can taste the prosciutto, you taste the provolone, the mortadella, the salami, everything is it's flavorful, it's moist, it's not dry. The same thing with this. If you want to cut them when your guests come and put them out, fine. If you want to cut them ahead of time, then put them back in the oven a few minutes, and then put them out, that's perfect also. I'm going to finish, clean up this counter 1 second. I'm going to return, going to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I got to finish this. It's so good. Go talk amongst yourself. I'm busy. I'll be right back. Oh my God. And we have completed another segment of Cooking with Johnny. Here is the finished appetizer. They're amazingly delicious. They're a great treat for any party or when you have guests. Like I said, we cut into them. They're great. Thank you for joining me on Cooking with Johnny. Please go to my website, cookingwithjohnny.net, Facebook, Cooking with Johnny. Keep sending those questions. I've gotten a lot of pictures. You guys have made a lot of products. You're enjoying them. I'm enjoying them. My husband's enjoying them. But the unfortunate part is we'll keep getting bigger. But we don't eat all this. We just save it. We bring it downstairs to our sister-in-law. We down a block to the neighbors. We bring it to work. This stuff disappears within the first couple of hours. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for stopping in.